You know what time it is. You know who you on with. You know who you rocking with. It's your boy Philly Notion. Hey, and the crew, because y'all already know we flooding these Eagle Airways, so we gonna get to it. But hey, listen. Hey, let's check the 4K. Hey, hold on. Hey, Lambo, check. Ring, check. Yes, sir. Hey, hold up. We all the way in there, gang. Hey, listen, if y'all new to this ride, y'all know what to do. Go hit that subscribe. Hey, make sure y'all check my fellas out too, because y'all know what it is. Hit that subscribe, because y'all know how we rocking with it. Hey, listen, I'm going to let the gang go ahead and introduce their channels. Y'all know where to find this thing at. I put the descriptions and the links below, so y'all make sure y'all go sub my guys up ASAP. Let them know where to find you at, Eagles Uncensored.
Yo, what's good, my guy? Appreciate you having me here. Not sure how I'm going to top that one. You know. Yo, what's going on, Eagles Nation? This is your boy, AK Eagles, and I am the host of the Eagles Uncensored podcast. Please hit that subscribe button. Please hit those likes. Please turn that notification bell on so you know when I go live, drop content. Listen, I am probably the most controversial Eagle content creator out there. I will pretty much tell you how it is. I don't care who you are or what it is or what team you're a part of. If I feel it, I will tell you my opinion, and that is what it is. You're right to yours. Hey, no opinion stupid. My channel was based on for fans, content creators, you know, anyone can come in at any time and just relieve their stress, you know, and I did this based on last year because there's a lot of us that do need to relieve stress, you know, so that's what my podcast is for, and that's why I called it Uncensored. So, you know, but yes, my guy, I do appreciate you having me on. Thank you so much. I am so excited to do this, and, you know, I will pass it to my man and my co-host Birdgang 31 down there.
Yes, sir.
What's up, my guys? I'm Birdgang 31. You know, the host of the Birdgang Nation Sports Talk. You know, I'm just filling up everything about birds, man. Got collabs with all the goats out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm working with everybody I can to make sure that everybody get all the information about us Philadelphia Eagles. You know what I'm saying? I bleed green. I've been on the scene for a long time, and I'm mean on that mic too. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, check out my station. Make sure you subscribe, hit the post notification bell, and let's keep it rocking.
Indeed, my guy. Hey, Lindy, what's happening, bro?
What's up, fellas? It's been a minute. Good to be on here with Notion. Took a while, but we're here. Love the opportunity, man. But what's up, everybody? Lindy Endzone in the building for the touchdown, taking the lead for the Eagles one video at a time and dropping buckets for, the Dallas Mavericks. I know. An Eagles fan loving a Dallas team. As gross as it sounds, I know. I love my Mavs, though. And if you like the diversity of fandom that I bring to the table, easy to hit the subscribe button. Love to have you a part of the Endzone fam. Just pushing for that next milestone after another. And we can only take it one day at a time. And let's get it rocking, fellas. This is going to be great.
Hey, you already know. Let's go and get to it. Hey, salute to my guy. Hey, Stephen Joyce. Hey, listen. Some things might have came up. It's all good. We already know. As soon as he's right, he's going to be on the channel if he can pop in. But, again, gang, let me go salute the notification gang because y'all know ain't none of this possible without none of y'all's help and none of y'all's push. So, hey, let me go salute the gang. I see we got the Nest out west. Philly Foothill, salute. Hey, another content creator. Make sure y'all go check my man out. He on that road also. So go show my man some love. Hey, Ethan, you already know what it is. No shit, gang, salute. We got Philly Insider Podcast. Yes, sir. Hey, Ryan Rowe in the building. I see you, my guy. Hey, Lucas in this thing. Hey, we got it. We got some people in here that's ready to talk about some Eagles. Big Play Slay, another content creator. We got so many content creators. Hey, I'm going to tell you right now, we taking over. So, as y'all can see in the headline, it's the Eagle Content Creation Takeover. Y'all already know. Salute to RK. We see y'all in this thing. Hold up. Philly Ace 21. Yes, sir. Hey, salute. You already know. Brenda Cox in this thing. We just getting this started. Jinx Wolf. Hey, all love, everybody. Listen, let's go and jump into some of these topics because I'm going to tell y'all right now, we got some stuff we got to talk about. So I'd like to know from y'all fellas, first and foremost, of course, we got to lighten this situation up. We might all know who the best team in the NFC is. Some of us may disagree, but who will be the worst team in the NFC East this year? We're going to start it like that. Lindy, kick it off, brother, and we're going to go around.
Man, the worst one. Whew. Man, this is gonna be a difficult one. Because every team has something to prove in the NFC East or NFC least, for what it's worth. Our division has been quite the laughingstock over the last couple of years. A lot of teams are, a lot of fans are in favor of, maybe the New York Giants. The biggest question in that regard is, is Daniel Jones going to be that guy? Really? I don't know. I would have to imagine it's probably going to be between the Giants and the Washington football team. And the only reason I put Washington in there is because of the consistency of Ryan Fitzpatrick. We've known him as a guy whether he's going to be Fitzmagic or Fitztragic, and it's going to be up to Ron Rivera and that coaching staff to really hone him in, especially for the amount of weapons that he has. This time on a consistent level, on offense with Terry McLaurin and the guys of the like. So. Yeah, man, I think it's a toss-up between Washington and the Giants just because of the quarterback concern. They both have potential on the defensive side of the ball. They made some offensive upgrades, but I think based on their records, it's going to be as far as the quarterback takes them.
Okay, I can rock with that. All right, let me know your thoughts, Birdgang. Who you got being the worst team this year in the NFC East? Let them know.
I just think it's pretty easy to see. It's the New York Giants, man. They don't have a quarterback. Danny Food Stamps ain't doing nothing this year. And so he can't even get the ball to all the rest of the players if he can't throw the ball in the first place. So, I'm thinking the Giants going to get swept this year by the Birds. And they might get swept by the Cowgirls. And who knows, Washington could sweep them too, or at least go 1-1. So I got the Giants.
I'm digging it, bro. I'm digging it. I think, y'all gonna hear my thoughts in a minute. But Eagles Uncensored, I gotta hear from you. Worst team in NFC East this year. Who's bringing in the trophy?
Listen, man, it's going to be the Giants hands down. All right. Listen, they do have a decent defense. I'll give them that. I will not take that away from you. But you have a quarterback that threw 11 touchdowns in 14 games. That's truly fucking pathetic. Like, no lie, dude. That is terrible. Okay? And then not just that, but you also threw 10 interceptions, in 14 games. That's really what you want to threaten us with about winning the NFC East with. A dude that threw 11 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. Our third-string quarterback has better stats than your starter. And that's facts. Like, how can you come at me saying you're going to win the NFC East with that?
I can't even. You already know I ain't got no kind of argument in that. I'm going to go with a different take, however. I honestly think, listen, and maybe it's the curse of being on, this upcoming whatever. I think they're going to change it to the soft knocks also. But I'm going to say I think Dallas is going to be the most sorriest team in this division this year just because, listen, they're overrated every year. I think they're going to regress this year. Again, they auditioning for this media distraction at a Hard Knocks this year. So there hasn't been a successful team, not that I know of, that's just came out and did something great after being on Hard Knocks. So off of that alone, plus of course, we got to see the health of their quarterback. I'm not buying it. I ain't drinking the Kool-Aid. I think Dallas is set up to be the sorriest team in this division this year. But I wouldn't be shocked if it was the Giants either. So it is what it is. Indeed, fellas. So it looked like the general consensus I'm getting a lot of Giants. A lot of mentions in the chat. A lot of people think it's going to be the Giants. I get one person in the Giants. Look like my guy Michael B talking about it's going to be the Eagles. We going to find out. I think we did our time in the basement, fellas. I'm done with it. Let's go and move on from it.
Yeah, I love how you say we tanked on that, my guy. How can you tank when you already lost?
Hey,
I mean,
let
that's
them
my
know.
question. That's my question. How can you tank when you already lost? Maybe you guys should have just played one more better game and you would have had 7 wins and you would have fucking won. That's not my fault.
Pretty much, yeah.
Why are you relying on us to do your dirty work? We got enough shit to deal with on our own team. We don't need yours added on top.
Let
Just
them
putting it
know.
out there. Just putting it out there, my God. Just get better. Just maybe be better and you might win.
Get a
What else do you
quarterback.
want? Yeah. Get somebody who isn't Eli.
Hey, I totally understand it, man. Don't rely on no other team to handle y'all's business.
Yeah.
Y'all handle your own business. So that is what it is. Hey, real quick, fellas, we know there's been a lot of rumors swirling. Let's go and dive into some of that. Because, hey, listen, there's been a lot of stuff we need to either go ahead and squash or we need to talk about today. One of those being, of course, should the Eagles pursue Deshaun Watson? I need to know, Eagles Censored, kick it off, brother. Hey, Birdgang, I want to hear your thoughts also. Let me know if the Eagles should pursue Deshaun Watson. Let us know in the
Listen.
comments also, gang.
I understand where everyone's coming from. You want Deshaun Watson. I get it. I get it where everyone's coming from. But this is the way I look at it, man. I want my 3 first next year. We have a lot more holes on this team to fill over the next couple of years that I'm not willing to give away our future for just one guy. You know? So, we just stick with what we have. And, Jalen Hurts can win if you build around him properly and you can use him properly. And I believe we have the coaches and the team to do that. So if we can escape this year without having to use one of our draft picks on a QB, man, that's awesome. But as far as I can tell, though, man, we shouldn't even be thinking that because I'd be more inclined to trade for Xavien Howard because that is a position of need rather than trade for Deshaun Watson. Because at this point in my eyes, quarterback is not a position at need, so to speak.
Yeah. I have to agree with that 100%, man. Like, I'm not down with Watson. Watson's good, but for a fact of the matter is we don't even know when the guy's playing again. If all these charges do go through for him, he might not be playing for a while. So why are we even thinking about it? Why we're talking about it? Let's talk about it's Hurts season. It's his time to shine. And I don't want to give up any of those 3 first-round draft picks either, man. We got to double dip back corner if we can. You know what I'm saying? Or at least, fill up the other positions on our field, like maybe get a linebacker or something that we need as opposed to a quarterback. Like you said, we definitely don't need no quarterback. Our quarterback is ready to roll.
Yeah, no.
Deshaun Watson, are you getting the jersey, brother? Let him know.
No, and even if you trade for him, he's around the same age as Carson to begin with, so it's not like you're hitting the reset button. If you're getting Deshaun Watson, it's like that's pretty much like a win now type of move to put that you're looking to automatically go into playoff contention, and you just can't have that type of situation right now. I mean, you're pretty much set looking at a positive future. Jalen Hurts is only 22. Miles Sanders is only 24. Devontae Smith is only 22. Jalen Reagor is young. You're looking to extend Dallas Goedert, who's only 26. You have that regime right there to build upon. So why would you go ahead and self-destruct it, just for maybe an opportunity to better yourself over a shorter term, a shorter period of time. And, even if it does go through, that's a trade for 2022, not right now, because he's going to be with a suspension anyway. That could be over the course of more than 8 games. So, no, I mean, I think it's more of a risk than it is a reward. So, no, I'm not in on it either.
And that would be our luck, man. As soon as we would trade for Watson, he'd go on the exempt list. I promise you that. That is what exactly would happen. I promise. The moment Howie would trade for him, he's done.
And I just think Jalen's more of a winner than Watson is. Man, Watson couldn't pull off a lot of games. He had the stats, but there's a lot of them last end of the game drive that he could not complete last year. So, I think Jalen's a winner, and he's definitely going to show why we're going to be keeping him on the team.
Hey, I gotta completely agree with you, fellas. I think we need to go squash the nonsense now because honestly, again, we got a quarterback in-house. In my opinion, I believe he has a higher ceiling and he may display more than Deshaun Watson. So that's what I'm banking on. I'm not looking on, look, we understand right now we're moving away from this quarterback factory business that we didn't, look, we had the mantra, it messed up our team. I'm trying to get away from all of that. So definitely Deshaun Watson right now, especially with the distractions with the media, is not a good fit for this locker room. Hey, if y'all want to talk about next year, we'll see how this year works first, but I'm not buying none of this nonsense. So I say no to Deshaun Watson, especially right now. Again, I mean, Barron, the health of this team, we'll revisit it. I'm not saying Watson, I believe he has a lot of talent also. But at the same time, we're not that desperate of a team right now. So I'm not buying the Deshaun Watson business. So, hey, listen, it looked like a lot of people also, I'm getting it in the chat. They saying pretty much, hey, look, traded for Deshaun Watson. He would be a backup. Last week. Already, gay. All right, I need to know another burning topic out here. And we already been hearing the Xavien Howard talks, all of this, but I need to know, kick this off for me, Birdgang. Let me know. Listen, should the Eagles, let them know, should they trade a first-round pick for Xavien Howard? Let me know your thoughts on that.
Right now. Like today.
A first-round pick.
Give it to them. Give them their first-round pick they gave us. Give it right back to them. Today. You can throw in Zach Ertz with it, too. So it's first round in Zach to the Miami Dolphins for Howard. I'll do it in a heartbeat. He's young still. He had 10 picks last year. So in the last 2 out of 3 years, he led the league in picks. So why wouldn't you want the young? He's an elite cornerback. Like everybody say, he'll bump Slade to number 2. But then we have 2 shutdown corners. Help out McPherson. So next year maybe McPherson can get on the field. So I would do it in a heartbeat.
Hey, who want to take it next? Let me hear your thoughts, Lindy. Hey, should the Eagles trade a first-round pick for Xavien Howard? Let me know your thoughts, brother.
I seen Uncensored above me. I rolling at at the top of the screen. He's got his thoughts already. So I guess I'd continue the heat. A first. I mean, yeah, you can agree on the premise of you can give Miami their first back in the exchange. The question is there going to be more attached to that first round pick? I mean, it's already been speculated that a second and Ertz might be good enough, but on the flip side of that, a first could be in consideration. Just for the sole fact of maybe. We're already in the hole, $8.5 million on a tight end that might not be here. That pick very well might be attached just to get the money off of the books. And in terms of Xavien Howard, he's already come out and talked about that it's more about than just the money itself. And, he feels that there's a bit of a disrespect there because, Byron Jones is getting paid more than him on the same team right now, and Xavien Howard's the better corner. But it stretches more. It stretches more from a contractual perspective. When you talk about it in terms of that. So I mean, when you talk about a win now move. Now, it's not, I mean, if you want to call it win now for that matter, I don't know if that's the case. But, when you compare a trade like this to a Deshaun Watson situation, you're better off going after Xavien Howard. It's just, are you going to have the money for Xavien? That's the question. But at the end of the day, if it took a first to get him, I think I'd be okay with it. But I wouldn't, I would be more of I would pause. And I don't know if I would be able. I don't know if I would give a first, but I think it could still be on the table.
Hey, Eagles Uncensored. Let me hear your thoughts, brother. Should the Eagles trade a first-round pick for Xavien Howard? Let them know.
I will stand by what I keep saying. I don't want to give up any of our firsts. for next year. Okay. But for Howard, though, listen, you have to realize this guy has had 18 to the NFL's 19 interceptions the last 2 years. You know, he had 10 last year, and I think it was like 8 the year before. Maybe they were separated within 2 years. I don't know. But the point is, it's 18 of the NFL's 19. That's very impressive. He is worth a first, but if I would have to give up a first, man, I'd probably say I'd give Derek Barnett and the Colts' pick that they gave to us. That way, if Carson Wentz ends up screwing anyone, it's them and not us. You know, but that way it could be a high second if they do terrible, or it's going to be a high first if they do great. So, you know, it's kind of a win-win because we get Xavien Howard in the process, you know, but that's probably as far deep as I'd be willing to go on that one.
You could also look down the road and you know, all Xavien Howard is going to do is he's going to boost the competition level in that cornerback room for one. And two, if it comes to the point where, now this is a hypothetical and I don't want people to get mad at me for this, but
I know where you're going with this.
The Eagles are known to be sellers at the trade deadline. So is there a situation where, while this guy still has value, that depending on how well the corners perform under Darius Slay and Xavien Howard, if those two end up being a tandem, would the Eagles be willing to be sellers and dump that contract that Slay has in order to save some cap for next year? If Xavien Howard's good enough with the rest of the squad on the table, you have that possibility open, especially if Fletcher Cox is on the table. I mean, that's another speculation. So it opens up opportunity.
Hey, I'm going to answer the question like this. And I hear, you know, I'm going to tell y'all right now, absolutely not. I'm not giving up no first-round pick. I'm sorry. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and say that Xavien Howard doesn't have that kind of talent. Listen, he's been to the Pro Bowl twice. Last year, in my opinion, is probably the best career year this man's going to have. 10 interceptions. Listen, the man is young and he is talented. But am I going to give up a first rounder for something that I don't know? Honestly, a cornerback is the most, in my opinion, one of the most riskiest positions. I mean, we've seen it with Nnamdi Asomugha. We've seen it with Byron Maxwell. Listen, I believe we need to start finding ways to develop our own talent in-house, starting with Zach McPherson, who we just spent up. What was it? A fourth round? A fourth round? We need to start developing our own internal talent. Absolutely not. I'm not giving up a first for something that could go wrong. I mean, this player could get injured. It is what it is. We know we already scratching our health concerns and things of that. So, listen, we just got Darius Slay, I believe, was it last year, and we gave up like a second and a fifth. I believe Darius Slay is still a better cornerback right now, I believe, than Xavien Howard. So I don't see us giving up no first. Believe me, draft capital is important to this team. You build through the draft, so we need to start developing our own talent through this draft. So I'm not giving up a first. That's my take on it. Yeah, I would package in if it was like, you know, Zach Ertz or throwing in maybe a second or a third. But I'm not coming off no first for no Xavien Howard. If it ain't the time to be, it ain't the time to be. So that's my thoughts on it, gang. Let me see. Hold on.
So you even stick by that even with the Colts pick too, as well, even though that could end up being a second?
Question. What was that question again, bro?
I said, so you still stand by even the Colts pick, even though that could end up being a second round pick?
I'm not trading that pick either. I'm going to tell you right now, if that is a possibility for a first round, I'm holding on to that. Unless we get in a desperate situation to where, you know, hey, Darius Slay is, unfortunately, you know, it is what it is before trade deadline, then maybe I'll consider coming off a first. But as this situation stands right now, you tell me any team that just has two stud cornerbacks in this league, we can get by with one with a change of scheme, in my opinion. So I don't believe we're that desperate. I'm not coming off a first.
Even next year, if these guys like Stingley come up, you know we're going to package two up together to go get them. Now, this guy is showing that he's already proven, and he's young. So we're going to use that first round on the cornerback. Do you want to go off of a rookie that might not do good in the league, or you want to go ahead and get the proven guy that's already in the league right now and balling?
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. I mean, I can't even picture this in the same sentence as like or in the same situation as like a Byron Maxwell type of deal. I just don't see it. You're talking about Xavien Howard, who's only 27. He's in his second year of a 5-year extension, like a $75 million contract that he's going to want more money. And then, I know Slay is still somewhat in the prime of his career. He's a little bit outside of it, 30. He's going to be 30, pushing 31, I think. He's going to be on the latter half. And it could be true that this new defensive scheme under Jonathan Gannon could give him a bit of a break. Let's be real, that Jim Schwartz defense did not help our secondary whatsoever, because they were just flying all over the place with chickens with their head cut off because they had no support, no safety help, or what have you. But I mean, this is the move. This is a move that could guarantee somewhat of a future. And on top of that, Slay as of late has had injury issues of himself. So if he ends up going down again, and we don't have a guy like Xavien Howard on the roster, who are you going to go to outside of Zach McPherson? And the list starts to get a little bad there. So, because we got a bunch of slot and nickel guys right now. Nobody really to play the outside, and I'm pretty sure nobody wants to see Avonte Maddox on the outside again.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna tell you like this, and I'm getting some pushback up in here talking about some. Let me go set the record straight, because evidently some of y'all in the chat don't act like I don't know we don't need a cornerback. I know we need a cornerback. I know that desperately. I saw how many people got mossed on this secondary last year. My point is, I'm not coming off of a first-round draft pick. We haven't even seen what defensive scheme we're running yet. We don't know how desperate we are. I'm saying right now, yes, Xavien Howard, that's a talented man. And that man, yes, would make us the best secondary, period, I believe, possibly in the whole NFC, period. So, I might have to take a look at the NFL, honestly. But at the same time, trading for a first round, I'm not buying that right now. We're not that desperate. Again, I know we need some help, but I believe there's other routes we could go that don't include giving up a first rounder. So, I mean,
I just say I'd rather give up one first round than 2 first rounds to get one player next year.
Yeah, I mean that's true. And
to get one of them stud cornerbacks if we draft one next year, we're not gonna have we're gonna have too high of a pick to, unless we totally bomb out this year. We're gonna have too high of a pick to get one of the top 2 corners next year.
Yeah, I mean there was even some Eagles fans in wanting to be in the Jalen Ramsey sweepstakes, and that ended up not happening. So when a guy like Xavien Howard becomes somewhat available, and because we have concerns on how the secondary is going to look in this on this team schematically, a guy like Xavien Howard brings at least a little bit of stability and guarantee that he's going to do his job so long as he's a scheme fit. And at the same time, I don't think we're talking about Xavien if he's not a scheme fit to begin with. So you got potentially Xavien and Slay running the outside. That's where your stability comes in which whoever else underneath can learn the game a little more, watching these guys on the field for one, or if they're doing their job, that allows for some substitution in certain packages. That allows Jonathan Gannon to do a lot more schematically with his defense when you have 2 lockdown corners on the outside instead of just one.
Mm-hmm. And I'm just tired of everybody waiting for next year. Let's win this year if we can. Let's do it.
Why can't we? That's my question.
No, yeah, I know, and I get what y'all are talking about down there at the bottom. That's why I'm torn both ways here. This is a really hard question to answer because systematically, I agree with Notion. You can make this secondary work with what we have with either McPherson or Jaquette. Okay, you can, and you can scheme it by doing short coverage zones, and you can also teach your corner to bump right at the line to just throw them off for 1 second. That 1 second makes a complete difference on that D line, especially when you got Cox, Barnett, Kerrigan, BG, Ridgeway, Williams, all of them rushing. He's either going to have to force that pass right away, get it out, and that's going to ultimately make him mess up, or he's going to hold it and he's going to take a sack. I get that concept, but I also really want a good corner too over there. So that's what's hard, because we can make it work. It's going to be hard, but we can. But do we want to make it hard, or do we want to make it easy?
And then on top of that, you do got to look at the money situation. And I know how we can find a way to squeeze the money in, whether he's going to kick the can down the road. Y'all know how Howie does. But at the same time, listen, we'd have to clear some cap space, because we also know we got another player on this team that we holding hostage right now. We could go ahead and make some cap room with. We also got the likes of Derek Barnett. I believe by trading some players, some lower picks, we could still find a valuable cornerback without giving up a first-round draft pick. So that's my stance on it. Again, it ain't to say that Xavien Howard is not a talented corner, because, again, I would take that man in a heartbeat. But for a first-round pick, I'm not coming off of that.
But if you make the deal sweet, like the first round plus something like Zach or something, Miami might just go ahead and pay his contract this year, since it's already past, the beginning of the league year. They can end up paying it, and then we still won't even have to worry about that money coming off the books this year, and we could sign him to extension by next year, and then we might not see that first hit of money until we have some money.
Hey, agreed, fellas. So we all gonna keep an eye on that situation. Again, we all know we need some help at cornerback. We all saw what the secondary looked like last year. We got to see how the Eagles gonna approach it with value picks, whether it's picks involved, players involved. We got to find out. But honestly, I don't think nothing's gonna happen until we dive into training camp, see what we actually got. I don't think nothing's happening anytime soon. So
while we're on that second, Stevie, I got a question for all you guys.
Definitely.
Would you guys trade Zach Ertz to the Colts for Xavier Rhodes, player for player? He played good he played good under Gannon last year. And
I'll answer the question. I'm trading Zach Ertz for any kind of value at this point. So, I mean, honestly, if that's what it is, I don't know what his contract is. I'm sure it's not going to be, of course, what I guess Ertz is asking. But at the same time, I'm trying to get any kind of value, if that's what it is, to get Ertz up out of here, because we know the situation. So I'd consider it, yes.
Lindy?
I would think that would be the one thing that the Colts would want to avoid. I mean, Zach Ertz, offensively, for Carson Wentz was also an enabler, because, quote unquote security blanket. And the Colts already have who is it, up and coming tight end? What's his name? Ali Cox, and then they already have Jack Doyle on the roster. Trey Burton was just there. I doubt Frank Reich would want that.
Hey.
Well, and I apologize, man. I was lagging there a little bit when you asked the question. So what was the question?
Would you trade Zach Ertz to the Colts for Xavier Rhodes?
Like straight across, Ertz for Rhodes?
Straight across, player for player.
You couldn't get that.
Yes.
You don't think so?
Yeah. No.
Because he's older.
Yeah, I know, but
Slay's age.
I mean, honestly, I don't think it's a possibility. But again, I would trade Zach Ertz right now for some kind of value. But again, I don't think, I'm kind of with Eagles Censor. I don't see it happening. I think that's, I don't see it happening.
It's a little steep. It's a little steep.
Xavier would
especially
be
for them. It's a loss on their side, not us.
Yeah. I mean, Xavier only re-signed with Indianapolis for a year, so if he came over to us, he would only be a rental, and I don't think we want to deal with rentals right now when we got a bunch of corners on our roster that we're trying to build upon. So that goes against the argument of Notion talking about earlier that we need to start developing our own talent in-house. So getting a rental like that, goes against that philosophy, and it's a different situation to bringing in Xavien Howard, because Xavien Howard can still build as a player. He's only 27. So, and I have to disagree. I got to disagree a little bit here. Birdman talking about the Colts have crappy receivers. Not necessarily. They got the same amount of potential as the Eagles do. I mean, yeah, T.Y. Hilton's up there in age, but you give him a quarterback like Carson Wentz, you can only expect him to do have a decent season. I mean, he did under Phillip Rivers, and he did under Jacoby Brissett a little bit for what it's worth, and then when Andrew Luck was there, so on and so forth. And their second-year player that they're looking at right now. So, I mean, from a receiving standpoint, yeah, you can see Ertz. You can see Ertz being being an upgrade in that regard. But the Colts already have a loaded tight end room, so I don't see it.
Hey, listen, I put this comment up. I want to address this real quick. Salute to Rogue Kevin, the PRF. Hey, my man says, bad teams value draft capital. Notion expects a 12-5 season, but isn't sure what we got. So which is it? Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, I do expect a 12-5 season, 10-7 at the lowest point this year. Now, I'm going to tell you why I still don't know. Yes, of course, our secondary is a concern mark for me. I know that's a question mark that we go into with this season, but a lot of these questions are going to be answered in training camp. Come training camp and preseason, we're going to get an idea kind of what this team at least is going to put out there on the field. At that point in time, I'm going to have a better idea if we need to go out there and start splurging, giving up first-round picks for a secondary or for a cornerback. That's the only question mark that I have on this team right now that's stopping us from greatness. So, hey, again, I do believe the Eagles are going to get a cornerback. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying we're not going to give up a first-round talent. Yes, I believe teams, hey, listen, if you ain't valuing your draft picks and building and developing your own talent, I don't know what you're doing. You ain't succeeding in this league. So, yes, I understand teams that may just sit on top of picks. They don't get things done, but we ain't that desperate right now to give up no first for no Xavien Howard, in my opinion and my thoughts. So, hey, appreciate the statement, my guy, but I'm going to let you know right now, we're going 12-5. That's what I'm feeling.
Yes, that's my prediction, too.
I've been saying 12-5 for 3 months, my guy.
Yeah. 12-5.
You look at our schedule and you tell me more than 5 games we should lose. In all honesty, tell me.
People don't realize we're going to be blitzing a lot more this year too. That'll be putting a lot more pressure on these guys, So we should have a lot more turnovers than we had before. Without blitzing, we had 52 sacks last year. We're definitely going to get a lot more sacks this year. So our defense going to be tops this year. So I see us winning a lot more games.
Yeah.
Indeed. So. All right, we also know we got another burning topic, which I'm tired of talking about also. But again, we still ain't got no kind of solution for it, no kind of answer. But let me know, gang. Hey, should the Eagles keep Zach Ertz on the 53-man roster? And y'all might have to kind of refresh. I don't know if that's been changed, but I know with this having a 17-game season, is it still 53 men? Has that been changed? So. I haven't heard anything on that. Y'all let us know in the comments if you know.
I know he got bumped up to 56 on game.
Is it 56? Okay. I'm gonna have to double check that. But should Zach Ertz remain on a part of that roster on the final cutdown day? Oh yeah, let's go start with you, Eagles Uncensored. I like the breadth of. You sound like you need to go ahead and get uncensored. Do your thing, bro.
Listen, man. I love Zach Ertz. All right, I won't lie. He holds a place in all our hearts. That's no lie. I'm pretty sure we can all say that. But I really feel how he's just pulling a Sam Bradford here, man. And I've been saying this for about 2 months now. You know, even whenever we were talking about letting him go, and then after the month went by and we weren't doing it, that's the first thing that popped into my head. You know, because we all know how he's ego. We all know how this man, whenever he wants what he wants, he needs to have it. You know, so the way I'm looking at this is he's going to hold on to him. He'll be there for training camp, and Howie's just praying to God, either like Kittle, Waller, Kelsey, you know, Moali Cox, one of these big time tight ends that are out there, you know, go down and somebody gets desperate, you know, and he can get a second or third round pick for him, you know, and that's the only thing I'm taking at this point, you know, because we all know how he's not letting him go for no fifth or sixth round pick. He's too prideful for that. So.
Hey, what you got on that, Lindy? I'll let you kick that off next, my man. I mean, hey, should he be on the 53-man roster? How should we handle this situation? What's Lindy Endzone? Take us to the end zone, brother.
This is about, at this point, this is about Zach Ertz's pride. And he's already felt at one point that his pride was hurt, you know, by not getting a contract extension that he felt that he deserved. And, you know, there was too much altercation between him and Howie Roseman at one point. You know, through that, I don't see it. You know, but for what it's worth, at the same time, if you look at the flip side, you know, there used to be an Eagles tight end on our roster who knew he was on the latter half of his career, and you know, he adjusted to his veteranship in the coming years, knowing that he's not going to be a part of the first string anymore. And you know, if Zach is at the point in his career where he's willing to accept that, Brent Selleck was able to do it. Why can't Zach? But you know, I still think Zach feels that he's one of the, you know, premier top tight ends in this league. And, you know, there's a feeling in the back of my mind that Zach still feels that he's better than Dallas Goedert. So with him in that sense, I think he's just going to turn into a distraction, especially with Goedert wanting to go into negotiations to be locked into the Eagles. And you can't have that, kind of conflict between, you know, two number one, like, starting tight ends. So I think it would hurt the Eagles more than it would help him if he were to stay on this roster.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with all that. And then, you know, it'd be too much drama for the team. We just move off of all that drama from the team. You know, we just released it. We got a whole new energy, a whole new vibe. You know, he's not, like he said, he's not gonna want to play backup to nobody. You know, he still thinks he's elite. You know, the NFL still thinks he's elite. You know, they had Goedert at 7 overall and Zach Ertz over 10 overall for tight ends in the league. So he still got that respect out there, and I doubt he wants to ride pine, you know, behind anybody. So I think we need to do him justice. If we can't get the trade by training camp, just let him go. Cut him. We still get some money, you know. We don't get as much, I think, if we cut him, but we still get some money. But just to respect him for all the things he's done for Philadelphia, we got to let him go.
Bro, I will run Zach Ertz over and break both his legs before I see him in a Dallas Cowboy uniform. I'm telling you that right now. I will break that man's legs so he can't play football again, just to keep him out of your uniform. Don't even talk like that.
So, I mean, it is a possibility if the man is cut, right? So I'd like to know too, and I don't know how that works. Isn't there like is it maybe at the end of his contract, but don't we get like a like a comp pick if he's either cut, or is it trade? I don't know how that works. Again, I don't know the comp situations, but how do we get some kind of value? Is it if he gets cut, or if he plays out his contract and he walks out?
I think he has to play his contract out. I think he has to play this year for us, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it sounds like there may be some kind of a value with holding this man for the year, whether he sits on the bench or not, and getting some kind of comp pick. If that's the case, I mean, I see an argument to just holding Zach Ertz on this team for some kind of a 5th round, you know, 4th round comp pick or whatever the case may be, because we ain't getting the value right now. Again, I'm not going to I still say eliminate the distraction right now. again, I'm pro player. I understand the amount of talent that Zach Ertz brought to this team. Again, I'm offer if a player don't want to be here playing for the Eagles, let the man go. So I don't care what player it is. If it's the quarterback, I don't care if it was Jalen Hurts. If Jalen Hurts was like, listen, I don't want to play for the Eagles, let the man go. We need to restart. But again, I just don't see Zach Ertz wanting to be a backup for Dallas Goedert. We know we got to find – we're going to have to pay Dallas Goedert eventually. But, I mean, again, we might have to hold this man hostage. So it's a challenging situation. If you ask me if we should keep Zach Ertz on the 53-man roster, I'm saying no. I'm still sticking by that. I still say cut him and let him find a home somewhere else. Save on the cap value so we can get us a cornerback that we do need. So that's where I'm at. I don't see a point in just keeping him on the roster, just holding this man hostage if you don't want to play. So
if you don't want to be there now, when you see that contract Big Goddard about to sign, you're really not going to want to be there anymore.
And not just that, man, but you have to look at it this way, too. You have to have respect for Goddard, and you have to have respect for Ertz in this standpoint, too. You know, they both want to know their position. Whether it's both on this team, they both want to know where they stand. Ertz wants to know where he's playing. Goddard wants to know his role. Is he second? Is he first? You know, you're doing these guys no justice by keeping them in the dark. You know, you're doing them no justice by keeping him on this team. You're just... like Lindy said, you're dividing our tight end room at this point. You know, let's just get it done and get it over with. Let's stop the bullshit. Let's stop trying to spread this out any longer than it needs to be. Let's just break up right now and get it over with, you know?
Again, it's a tough situation. I think we all know something's going to happen with it. We don't know whether, I mean, maybe it's possible Zach Ertz may happily show up at training camp giving 110%. Playing on his last year, his deal, no complaints, no nothing. He might be willing to sit behind Dallas Goedert. We ain't heard nothing from Zach Ertz's mouth. But at the same time, looking at the situation, I mean, last time I saw Zach Ertz, he was crying. Hey, rightfully so. It was a tearful moment because he knew what time it was. So, listen, if he don't want to be here, if they're not going to pay him and value him as a tight end, which he's a great tight end, let the man go somewhere where he can find his value and, you know, financially make sure he's stable. So it is what it is.
I mean, in that moment, at least he showed more emotion than Carson did.
Absolutely.
Let's be frank. Let's be frank on that. I mean, we already know that Zach has wanted to finish his career as an Eagle, and you know, and I I definitely have to agree in that respect. But you know, and I don't think it comes down to him not wanting to be in Philly. I think it comes down to him not wanting to play for the general manager. That's where the conflict comes in, and. You know, outside of that, when you were questioning about the roster and everything notion, it is 53. The only thing that I see that changed this year is the schedule of roster cuts. There's going to be 3 of them. The first one is August 17th. The second is the 24th. And then the third cut is the 31st, which puts it at under 2 weeks until the start of week 1 for some teams. So it's going to get interesting.
Indeed. Hey, real quick, I want to address this question. It comes from the Dallas Cowboys fan. Okay, so what happens if Fletcher Cox wants to leave? And only reason why I'm bringing this up because I've been hearing this nonsense also about possibly trading Fletcher Cox and what we should do. So I'd like to take your thoughts real quick, fellas, on that. Let me know, Birdgang 31, how you feel about trading or getting rid of Fletcher Cox right now. Let me know your thoughts on that.
Right now? No.
I mean, when should we get rid of Fletcher Cox? What's your thoughts on how we should handle this?
At the end of the season or maybe mid-season, right before the trade deadline, if our youngsters are playing good ball, you know, Marlon from USC or Williams stepping up doing big things, then, yeah, we can do it then. That'd be the highest value you can get for him, you know. But right this second, you know, he's going to need to start the season, you know. He don't need to let these youngsters get their, get them reps underneath their belt before we do anything with Fletch.
Hey, let me know, Lindy. I'll go after Lindy. Then, hey, I want to hear your thoughts too, Eagles Uncensored. So, Lindy, kick that off. What should we be doing with the Fletcher Cox situation? Hey, are you open to trading them? I mean, how should we handle this? Because, hey, this man is a cog. He's a key piece in this Philadelphia Eagle defense. So let me know your thoughts, Lindy.
I mean, could it be realistic that this could mirror the situation that we could be, what I was talking about with Darius Slay, with Eagles being sellers at the deadline? Could this be another mirrored realistic situation here? But again, Fletcher Cox is one of those remaining veterans left on this roster that, we just got done through the conversations last year of holding on to players for too long. And, that's one of the arguments for trading Fletcher. Another argument is that he's only had a combined 10 sacks in the last 2 years. His last great season was in 2018 when the D-line needed him most, which is not ideal, definitely not. And then, towards the end of last year, we finally got to see how Fletcher looks against, with a competent partner next to him in Javon Hargrave when Javon got healthy. But again, Javon's 27. He got the contract that he did. He's a lot younger as a D tackle. The question is here, in order to be a seller for Fletch, the question is how is the rest of the roster going to look at that point in time? The Milton Williams of the world. I think Raekwon Williams, Hassan Ridgeway is back. And then, the defensive ends, like that entire house of the defensive line. How are they going to look? Can you sustain proper performance enough from them in order to be a seller for Fletch? That's the question that you're going to have to ask yourself. But right now, I want to see what he looks like next to a healthy Javon Hargrave, and I think that's fair to say. Plus, him being a veteran, it's also good for the room with guys like, with rookies like Marlon Tuipulotu, who just came out of the draft class. Milton Williams, you got two D tackles right there that you're trying to figure out who they are on this roster coming up if they make it. We're expecting Milton Williams to make it, but Marlon is a bit of a stretch with the competition in the later draft picks and what have you. But, as far as Fletcher's value right now, he means more to the team than he does, as a trade piece to another team. But, that could very well change come trade deadline.
All right, I'll kick this one off real quick, Eagles Uncensored. I know you burning on this topic too. I'm gonna make it pretty quick and simple, honestly, because right now ain't the time to be thinking about trading no Fletcher Cox. Again, right now, absolutely not. We need to see what talent we have, what depth we have behind Fletcher Cox, because we know how important Fletcher Cox is to this team. Now, I do understand. Listen, this is the business league, and if somebody's offering something, a king's ransom, if they throwing out like 2 first-rounders or something like that for Fletcher Cox, we have to consider it. But I'm going to tell you right now, we ain't taking no baloney nothing, for no Fletcher Cox and just trading Fletcher Cox for no reason right now. He means way too much to this defense, and I believe we are in win-now mode to possibly at least do something. We got to see what we have. So, again, I believe if we just got rid of Fletcher Cox, we become a full rebuild. We giving up. We don't know kind of what our defense is going to be. I believe we do know our defense is pretty solid beyond our secondary. So we're trying to tighten that up, and we want to win now. So I don't believe Fletcher Cox is going anywhere, any type of this year. It may be if we do get rid of him, it may be at the end of this year. Because I believe us being successful at trade deadline, and if we're successful, we ain't getting rid of no Fletcher Cox. So I'm going to tell you that's my thoughts on it. Eagles Uncensored, let me know your thoughts, my guy.
Yep. There ain't nothing to add to that, man. Like, y'all took it all. Like, yep. What do you want me to say? That's perfect. Spot on. Great. Next question.
Hey, you already know it, brother. All right, so listen. Next thing we're going to talk about here, because again, we already talked about the Zach Ertz situation. We know that's a looming cloud right now. But what are your expectations? And let me know, start with you, Eagles Uncensored, but what are your expectations for Dallas Goedert this year? What do you expect from this man?
I'll give him over 800 yards. You know, probably 6 to 8 touchdowns.
Okay. That's a pretty big impact. I could dig it. All right, Birdgang, what you got on that? What's your expectations for Dallas Goedert this year?
Yep. No, for the serious note, man, the same thing like yards wise, but I just want him to show the world that he is an elite tight end. You know, I want everybody to recognize Dallas Goedert as being one of the top 5s in the league. And I think he has the potential to do it, and I think he wants to show the world that he can do it. So that is my expectation. Just show the world what you got, baby.
Hey, I need to hear your thoughts, Lindy. I'll kick mine off in a minute.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's almost pretty much a guarantee, man. You know, if we know anything, you know, from Indianapolis, like they feature the tight end. You know, and the value is definitely there. I mean, you can only assume that Dallas Goedert is going to mirror Zach Ertz caliber numbers. Of course, I mean, he's the more athletic tight end. He's the more aggressive tight end. He's the more stronger tight end. You know, the only thing that he doesn't necessarily have on Zach is route running. Other than that, he's a better blocker and he's a better red zone threat. So, you know, you got to use him in every which way possible. But the other thing that's going to benefit him is a consistent wide receiver core. If they're getting open and they're attracting, you know, most of the defensive coverage, that should allow a guy like Goedert to eat all day. So, yeah, man, it's a pretty simple answer.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, I really don't have. I mean, I do believe that Dallas Goedert is gonna have an impact, but I believe the days of us overloading the tight end and us seeing 1,000 type yard, you know, us force feeding the tight end position, I think those days are done. I think Jalen Hurts is about to start using these wide receivers. So I don't honestly see Dallas Goedert being, you know, as impactful as Zach Ertz was, honestly. I believe Dallas Goedert will be, you know, he'll move the chains when needed, but I don't believe we're going to rely on Dallas Goedert like we relied on Zach Ertz and things like that in the past. So I don't really have high expectations for Dallas Goedert this year, but to go in there, you know, maybe about 500 yards is my thinking. I don't think he's going to, you know, have a Pro Bowl type of a year this year when I think about it all, just because of the way I believe Jalen Hurts is about to play. I believe he's going to look at these wide receivers this year. We're going to see 1,000+ yards there. But, again, there's only one football. So I believe that Dallas Goedert, he's going to handle his business. He's going to be our starter, but he's not going to be no huge impact, you know, balling out, getting 700-800 type yards. I don't see it. But I hope for it. Somebody got to step up. We're going to see how it rocks.
I like that take, man. You're the first one I've ever heard say that. I like that. Never looked at it that way before, so.
I
appreciate it. Listen,
yeah, no.
We've seen how they, you know, how the Eagles utilize or we used tight ends previously in the past. I mean, that was Carson's blanket. I don't think Jalen's got the same kind of blanket. So we're gonna find out.
No, I think Jalen's blanket's gonna be Miles Sanders, honestly.
And with our run game,
you got, Birdgang?
I was gonna say with our run game and our, like you said, the weapons on the outside, I just see it's gonna be a lot of easy money for him. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a lot of easy touchdowns. His, you know, yards per catch is going to go up really high. You know, his touchdowns are going to be up really high. So that's going to make him an elite tight end just off of, like, you know, the inflated stats from it being so easy for him. You know, they're going to have to just stop, you know, Miles. They're going to have to stop Gainwell. They're going to have to stop Ertz. Then you got to worry about Rager, you know, Smith. Like, you don't have that many good, you know, defenders on our defense to stop all of them. So I see him eating like a lot just off of, you know, him being open and having all day to do it.
Yeah, I think it's I think it's just going to come down to how well the Eagles can improve the threat of the play action to allow some of these receivers and to allow tight ends like Goddard to be able to get open because the defense is selling for the run. And if we remember with Ertz, there's two key reasons that you can point out here. Number one, the over reliance on him, from Carson, and number two, there was a distrust in the receiver core on behalf of that quarterback, and or the receivers just weren't getting open. So if you're going to go into this year thinking that these receivers are going to have that they're talented enough to be able to get open, or schematically from that point, is Shane Steichen and Nick Sirianni going to come up with better game plans to put them in those positions to get open? There's a lot of factors to consider here, but yeah, definitely, there's a lot of optimism in that respect going forward.
Well, in one way of looking at that, Lindy, though, if he can make Justin Herbert look good, you would think he could make Jalen Hurts look good.
Absolutely. Yep.
So
Justin Herbert did have a decent run game in Austin Eckler, so we're hoping for that from Miles.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Miles better than Eckler, for sure.
I got a question for you fellas, because we all know it's that time of the season. We about to get involved with some training camp. We know some people's jobs is safe. Some people's jobs ain't safe. So I'd like to know if y'all can give me maybe two. Y'all let us know in the chat also. What two Eagle players are on the bubble this year? Hey, go ahead and kick that off. Let's start with you, Lindy. How you feel on it? What two Eagle players would you say are on the bubble this year?
I think one of them is obvious. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. Cards are stacked against him right now. The last 2 years the Eagles have loaded at the wide receiver position because they're looking for that kind of talent to get open outside of the tight ends. So like we just got done talking about, that there's not an over reliance on those two players. The second one, you would have to put Derek Barnett in that category. The guy is on a fifth-year option for $10 million. He has no choice but to show out. Former first-round pick. He's got that aura behind him. Coming out of Tennessee, breaking Reggie White's sack record. We necessarily didn't see it consistently enough outside of his rookie year, making some big plays in the regular season and the Super Bowl, coming up with the fumble recovery. He needs to improve his game a little more, add a little bit more than just one move. And, we've seen how many times that, there was an over reliance on that spin move, that move that he really only has. So we just have to hope that a guy in Tracy Rocker can elevate his game and it translates to the football field. So I would have to say J-Jaw and Derek Barnett.
Hey, I like that. What you got, Eagles Uncensored? Let us know if you got two Eagle players that you consider on the bubble right now.
Well, our first one matches for sure. I am not a J-Jaw fan whatsoever. I already have him off this team. He isn't even on my roster. He's already gone.
J-Jaw love, bro.
Yeah, that bubble popped a long time ago, man. But I'm gonna give everyone one. I'll probably catch a lot of flack for it, but I don't care. I'm gonna go with Andre Dillard. Now, the reason that I say that is because if Mailata beats him out, dude, you're not going to have a first-round talent behind him, backing him up. We got young guys who can handle that. Driscoll can handle the right and the left. He's very versatile. We got Dickerson this year. We got, Herbig. We got all these guys, and they all have experience from last year. And that's my thing, man. If Mailata beats him out, I would not be amazed if he gets traded. So that's going to be my second bubble guy.
I like it.
Yeah. Well,
all right. What you got, Bird?
I wanted to go Barnett because I really think Sweat's taking this job this year. But I'm going to go with two different ones. I'm going to go Boston Scott, you know what I'm saying? Because who are we going to keep behind Gainwell, Sanders, and Kerryon Johnson? Because I think those are going to be a big three. Do you have Boston Scott, who kind of, Eagle favorite, that did some good plays, especially against the Giants. Or you're going to go with a guy like Howard, you know what I'm saying? But he's injury prone, so which Howard are you going to get? You can go like smaller guys or have two big running backs and two small guys. But I think that at the end of the day, probably Boston Scott could be on his way out of Philly. As much as I want to keep him, I think he's on that bubble. And then for my second guy, I'm going to go with Ward. Because everybody loves Ward, man. But if Quez is developing the way he needs to develop, Fulton continues to play good. If Hightower develops, he's faster and more, a better option because he's bigger and faster, than Ward. Ward just got really good clutch hands, So his athleticism might get him on that bubble to be out of Philly next year.
Man,
two bubble guys.
I was going to have to hit y'all with the yep. Y'all hit every last one of those, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I can't argue with none of that. I honestly was gonna say Barnett also. I really think Josh Sweat is probably gonna end up taking that spot, and Barnett's probably gonna be some trade bait come soon enough. So I honestly think Barnett's probably gonna be out of here. And I like what my guy said. Hey, I'm gonna have to go with John Hightower, just because. Listen, like we did. I believe what pick did we use on John Hightower last year? Was he?
It was like a 6, I think.
Okay.
4.
I'll tell you right now, I think this is a make or break year for him. And I got the feeling that somebody, like you said, like Quez Watkins, Fulgham, I think those are the ones that are going to take those roles. And I just don't think Hightower's going to squeeze in the mix. So I think he's on the bubble this year. And of course, like I said, Barnett. But when it comes to the season, you could throw that man, our kicker up in there also. Jake Elliott, he's on the bubble also. He got one kick to miss, and he's done. That's all I'm saying.
Opposite Ray Finkel right there, man.
Right.
Indeed. All right, guys.
That Greg Ward one is tough to me because I don't know if I can agree on the premise of the only thing that he has is good hands. He does possess one thing that the rest of the receivers on the roster don't, is that he has the mind of a quarterback because he used to be a former quarterback for the University of Houston. And, yeah, it wasn't to the same kind of competitive level as Jalen Hurts, even though the two have went toe-to-toe in college before. But, we've seen it with Carson. We've seen it with Jalen Hurts in a small sample size. What Greg Ward brings is the mind of a quarterback, meaning he knows where to sit himself in like the soft spots of zone, how to manipulate corners and whatnot. And that's not to say that wide receivers can't, but it's just that extra level of mentality, for him coming up as, in the quarterback position to be able to diagnose defenses and understand, where he should be in terms of coverage to give the quarterback a proper look and guaranteeing him a gain instead of a loss. So, that's going to be hard to replace in my opinion. But again, it's going to come down to how the rest of the receiving core looks in terms of competition.
And I agree with that too. But like you said, Nick Sirianni is a receiver guru. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. He loves teaching those receivers. And since we just, like you said Hightower, and I think that could be the person that be pushing Greg out of there. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to take the skill sets that Hightower has. When we drafted Quez and Hightower for their speed and big play capabilities, Hightower showed last year that he can get behind the defense. Now, did he catch him all the time? But, the skill's there, the skill set's there. And if Nick gets a hold of that, what I'm saying, like, he can make it work. He can probably make it work there.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying, too. Like, I don't hate on Ward, you know what I'm saying? And that was just a question that I thought, like, if any player, Ward could be on that bubble just for his athleticism compared to the other guys on the roster.
Yeah, that's true. He does have very good route running, though, as well.
Yeah.
All right, fellas, I need to know from you all because this has been another burning topic. I know it's been about a week since we heard this nonsense, but I just kind of like to know your thoughts on it. Hey, we'll start it off with you, Lindy Endzone. Let me know, is Nick Sirianni a leader? We know there's been some anonymous reports, with some players talking about they question Nick Sirianni's leadership. Let me know your thoughts real quick, Lindy, on the topic. What you feel, is Nick Sirianni a leader? Let us know in the comments below how you feel. But it's something we got to talk about because it came up in a report. So let us know, Lindy.
It came up in a quote-unquote report by quote-unquote players. And like Lane Johnson said, like he was tweeting, well, who are they? Like show yourselves. I mean, people were questioning the Doug Peterson hire in the first place back in 2016. Like he wasn't the popular choice for one. And, them two are coming into similar situations. Doug Peterson was never a head coach before in the NFL. Sirianni is not. Peterson was under Andy Reid. Sirianni was under Frank Reich. Similar situation there. But, what is the city of Philadelphia without drama for one? So it's like we need some of it at some point. But we didn't even see this team on the field yet for one. And we're trying to criticize the man. Outside of even training camp for that matter. So can we see what he does first? I mean, outside of coaching. There is a human element to this. They do have personalities, but it comes down to does it work in the NFL? And that's what with this rock paper scissors thing, and that's what Sirianni is looking to do. So I'm on the premise of how about we support the guy instead of criticizing him? But of course you're never going to avoid criticism. But I do like him.
Hey. I heard that. What you got, Birdgang? Let us know your thoughts on this whole report that came out. What's your thoughts? Is Nick Sirianni a leader? Let me know what you feel on that.
I'm back at Nick 100, but that's yet, we got to wait and see. You know what I'm saying? From what he's saying, what he's doing, yes, I love the talk. I love the energy. I love the teaching. As of right now, he is leading the troops to battle. You know what I'm saying? But we have to let the season play out and see if the players respect him throughout the season, and he can keep things down when things are rough. Right now, he's fresh start. There's not really too much drama going on with the team, so it's easy for him to go in there. He's, putting in a new system. So right now he's teaching, which is also a way of leading. So as of right now, you have to say yes, but I want to see, it's still, the jury's still yet to be seen.
Indeed, I like it. Okay. What you got, Eagles Censored? Let me know your thoughts on the situation, on the report that came out. We know what it is. Let me know your thoughts.
All right, first of all, man, the report came from Michael Robinson. Mm-hmm. Respect to that man as a PSU fan. He was a quarterback for us. Props to you. But, bro, keep your mouth shut on shit you don't know. You never played for us. You've never been in our locker room. I don't give a shit who you know. Keep your fucking mouth shut, man. You've never played for us. How do you know what our locker room is like? Get out of here. No. And secondly, man, Nick, I love him. I love the energy that he brings, and a lot of people, they give him shit about his first interview. Bro, do you realize who we are? I'm just going to ask anyone out there who wants to give him shit for this. Do you realize who he had to go out and talk in front of? Philadelphia media and Philadelphia fans. As a first-time head coach, who the fuck wouldn't be nervous? Just ask yourself that. We booed Santa Claus, for Christ's sake. Who would not be nervous? Of course the man was nervous. But now look at him. What, 4 or 5 months in now? Don't faze him anymore. He's fine. It's nerves, man. You're the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, the best franchise in sports history, with the best fans. You knew in the back of his mind when he was back there, right before he walked out, he was like, I can't mess this up or they're going to kill me. I guarantee it. So, yeah, man, everybody was just way too hard on him. And, our record shows we're good at picking head coaches. Like Lindy said, Andy Reid, Chip Kelly, Dougie P. It'll be the same with Nick. So I'm not worried about it, man.
Indeed. Listen, I'm going to make this simple because, again, it's okay, gang. And I'm going to tell you right now, look, right now, a lot of people should be questioning Nick Sirianni's leadership. We haven't seen it yet. In my opinion, again, yes, he showed all the signs so far of at least taking command of this team. Yeah, we saw how he handled his first press conference, but honestly, we don't know. We haven't seen how he's going to lead a team yet. Now, my definition of a leader, of course, is once things start getting tough, once adversity hits, oh yeah, leader's going to stand up. So we ain't seen Nick Sirianni in that kind of a situation yet. So to say that this man, is a full-out leader, we don't know that yet. My problem with this situation is these reports coming out anonymously. I mean, it's okay. Again, we haven't seen it. If you're going to make a statement like that, put your name behind it or don't even put out the report. So whoever the guy was that put out the report, I think was straight trash juice. Like, again, that ain't nothing but to stir up some controversy in a locker room. But again, it's natural for a team that has not seen this coach yet have some concerns or questions about his leadership. I got questions about the leadership, but I've seen so far that this man has commanded this team. So, hey, again, I guess this whole situation, it is to be determined. We're going to find out exactly how this season kicks off. I think we'll know something early. Probably by like week 4, we should have some kind of an idea on whether he's a decent coach or not. So,
I mean, it's almost common sense at that point. When you think of the word head coach and the definition of leadership, I think the two should go hand in hand. Otherwise, you wouldn't be considered a candidate for a head coaching position for a football team in the first place. Like you have to have that kind of quality to you to be able to be considered. So in that respect, yeah, I mean, in some ways, Sirianni should be and is a leader. But yeah, I think when the going gets tough, that's when it's going to come out as to, is he going to stay firm or is he going to break? Are we going to see him still be and still have a positive attitude even after a loss? Or is he going to be like Doug Peterson, for what it's worth, whether he gave up or not, or give these type of post-game press conferences like, I have to look at the tape. We got to look at ourselves in the mirror. Week in and week out. I mean, are we going to hear the same record playing week after week after a loss, or is Sirianni going to step up and say, well, this is exactly what we need to do. We're going to work on this. I'm going to get with this guy. We're going to take care of this, and we're going to give you a better product on the field come next week. And yeah, and I think that's where he should be tested, and I think he's going to surprise people.
Yeah, and then with the media, it's like there's 90 people in that roster. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
A lot of them ain't gonna be playing on the team. You can have some disgruntled ones at the bottom that kind of already know they're not gonna be there. That may be leaking out, stuff just to start up, stuff in the background there. So not every. And then even when we get down.
What was that dipshit corner we had? That was spreading the rumors a couple years ago from Dallas.
Orlando
The
Scandrick.
one from Dallas that we got.
Snake. Yay.
Who went on Undisputed and got roasted by Shannon Sharp.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hey, listen, though, I could at least respect Scandrick for putting his name out there. He went on air and said what he said. Hey, I mean, yeah, he had to eat all that, but at the same time, he put his name on something. I'm tired of these reports coming out anonymously, just to stir up because we are the city of Philadelphia. We already one of the most hated, teams in the National League just off of our pride in a sense. It is what it is. Can't nobody tell us greatness. Nobody likes us. We don't care. Y'all know what it is. But at the same time, yes, I'm just tired of these reports that come out anonymously where ain't nobody putting their names behind it. So again, it's to be determined. We all need to find out exactly how Nick Sirianni coaches a team before any kind of judgment is placed on him. That's just my thoughts. So, hey, gang, look, we're going to try to wrap this up here in a bit, but we're going to finish it off with some true or false here real quick, because I'd like to know from my fellas, hey, listen, true or false, y'all let us know in the chat also. We kind of talked about the situation early, but, hey, let me know, fellas, true or false. Xavien Howard will be a Philadelphia Eagle. What you got? We'll start with you, Eagles Uncensored, and then swing it around, Birdman, you next.
False. Do I have to give a reason behind it, or is it just true or false?
You know what? Yeah, you can go ahead and give a reason. Throw out your reason if you're feeling a reason.
One, because like I said, I believe it's going to probably take more than a second-round pick to get Xavien Howard, and I'm not willing to give up any of my firsts yet. I know we had that discussion. I agree with both of you, but, you know, in the end, I just kind of have to stand where I've been so far. And, you know, two, cap space, man. Like, that's our ultimate big question right there, is our cap space. You know, before we can do anything, we have to figure that out. So, yeah, just at this time, man, with everything we got going on, it's false.
What you got, Birdman? How you feeling on the situation? True, false? Xavien Howard will be in Philadelphia. We going to give up the first, bro.
I want him for sure. But is he coming? Probably false, just because we don't ever get who the fans want for real. So,
Exactly.
that don't usually work out for our. We can want them all we want, but just because that simple fact that, you know, we probably just won't get him.
Okay.
Back, to be honest.
All right, what you got on that, Lindy? True or false? Xavien Howard. You see it in the crystal ball. What's it looking like? Is he going to be a Philadelphia Eagle? True or false?
As much as I want to be on the opposite end of the spectrum, but I have to say false here as well. I mean, guys, look, we're already in a how can I put it? We're in such a spoof right now, hoping to see where Steven Nelson goes, and all this talk about us not wanting to give him $3 million, like come up more than $3 million after the Steelers cut him when he was expected to make $8 million. You can't tell me that there's going to be competition there contractually, based on a past report of 14 teams being interested in him. If we can't even manage more than $3 million at this point for Steven Nelson, what makes you think that, you know, Howie Roseman is going to go through all these magical restructures just to fit in Xavien Howard? It's just not going to happen right now. So I have to say false.
But I do think Howard's way better than Nelson. Like, I wouldn't give Nelson anything more than 3, but I would give Xavien Howard more money than that for sure. Like,
well, yeah, you're comparing
Nelson
it's a
is kind of like what we already
CB2.
have. We got a bunch of slot corners already on our team. You know what I'm saying? That's what I feel like Nelson is. He's a high-graded slot corner. Plus, we got Josiah Scott from the Jags, who's a good slot corner, too. So it's like, why would you bring another piece that we already got? We need, like, a big-body corner on the outside if we're going to pick up anybody.
So, listen, I'm going to go ahead and say I think it's going to be true. But I don't think it's going to be anytime soon. I think it's going to be during the season. Once that glaring hole resurfaces itself, that, listen, whoever we try to throw out there on an island, we're going to need some help for Darius Slay. So I believe that, yes, I think we're going to go into training camp, see what we have, rock through the preseason. And, yes, I believe that at some point we're going to make some kind of a trade for Xavien Howard, whether that's getting rid of Ertz, getting rid of Barnett. I believe some of that's going to happen down the road. I don't think it's happening early on our time when we want it to happen, but I can see it happening down the road. So that's my take on that. I'm going to say true. Yes, we are going to get Xavien Howard as a Philadelphia Eagle, but it ain't going to be till like after maybe a first couple games, few games, once we see how we actually really gelling. So I'll go ahead and go with the left on that.
You better hope we don't sign Steven Nelson tomorrow.
Yeah.
True that.
That's
I
just,
want it to happen, though.
Y'all already know that's the next y'all already know what it is. That's the next true or false. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about it because I need to know true or false. Hey, are the Eagles signing Steven Nelson? Let me know. Should Steven Nelson be a Philadelphia Eagle? True or false? Let us know in the comments below. Let me know your
I'll
thoughts
let-
first, Birdgang. Then we'll hit you. We'll hit you
That
next.
would
Birdgang,
have
what's
been
your
the
thoughts?
question. I would have said that to Lindy earlier. I gave all my reasons already, man. Like, I don't really think we need to spend money on him. You know, he's big-headed, but I don't see him as being anything elite. Like, you know, Howard's elite. Nelson's good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but he's also a good slot corner. We don't need no more than slot. We got enough slot corners on the team. You know what I'm saying? I would have thought even like Richard Sherman would have been a better option, you know, if he didn't get in trouble than to get Nelson, you know. If you want to pay that kind of like mid-range star money for a cornerback. But yeah, I don't like him, and I hope he's not on the team. You know what I'm saying? I think we got enough of those guys. I would rather let Zach and, you know, Jaquette play it out because they're more big body guys.
I can dig it. Okay, what you got, Eagles Censored? Steven Nelson, true or false? Will he be a
I'm going
Philadelphia
to say
Eagle?
true on this. I'm going true. All right, and this is why. I think it's a lot easier to trade Zach Ertz, get his 8.5, and whatever we have left over, use that money to grab Steven Nelson and then to finish signing Landon Dickerson. You know, we don't need much, but we just need enough. And it's going to be a lot easier to get Steven Nelson than it will be Xavien Howard.
Mm-hmm.
And we can make Nelson work 1 year. We'll worry about CB2 and CB1 next year when we have $40-50 million in cap space. Then we'll talk CBs. But for right now, you can make Nelson work, and he's a cheaper option. And you don't have to get rid of anything to get him. Just money.
Lindy, what you got, my brother? Let me know. Hey, Steven Nelson, true or false? Will be a Philadelphia Eagle. Let me know your thoughts.
I would love to say true here, man. I'm not sure how much optimism I have, especially for the amount of time that, you know, Howie Roseman has not wanted to budge on what he would want to pay Steven Nelson in the first place. But, you know, I'm going to have to say false on this one as well, man. I just don't know, you know. Like, it just depends on how the market sees him. But, you know, could you say on the flip side that, you know, this could mirror a situation in which, you know, we picked up Ronald Darby in a trade from Buffalo, even though this is a signing instead. And I would think Steven Nelson in that regard would be an upgrade over a Ronald Darby, you know, despite him getting the bag, I think, in Denver. But, you know, yeah, I mean, I'm on the fence with it, but, you know, I have to say false, man. Just, you know, just for how stubborn Howie can be with money.
Hey,
He's always looking for those bottom of the barrel type of signings. And, you know, he's seen that. He's seen that, and, you know, we've seen that in exchanges, you know, this year with, you know, Nate Meters and Josiah Scott, and he brings in Michael Walker, you know, bottom of the barrel type of guys. Steven Nelson's not that bottom of the barrel guy, and, you know, the market has somewhat been set after him leaving Pittsburgh, and he was set to make like $8 million. They cut him instead. So I don't know, man. I don't see it.
You know, there's a lot of similarities. There's a lot of similarities to this team that there was in 2016 and 17, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you have to look at it in this sense, man. Harris is Malcolm Jenkins. Okay. Wilson is Nigel Bradham. Kerrigan is your Chris Long. You have Kerryon Johnson is your kind of your LeGarrette Blount, so to speak, your power back. And then you have Devontae Smith is your Torrey Smith, your long, lanky, fast wide receiver, good hands. Travis Fulgham is your new young Alshon Jeffrey. And Jalen Reagor is your new and improved Nelson Aguilar, so to speak. Jalen Hurts is your non-injured Carson Wentz. And Miles Sanders is just Miles Sanders. So when you look at this team, Howie is trying to duplicate what he did, in a sense, with different players, younger players. It might be possible. Not this year. But if he keeps going the way he's going and with the things now, granted, Nelson, like you said down there, Lindy, Nelson would be your Ronald Darby. if you would get him. So there is a lot of similarities to this team that coexist with our 2017 team. That's why I say you can't sleep on this, because even though we want to bash Howie and, he is kind of designing this team up the same way, so to speak, if you get what I mean.
I'm going to go ahead and shoot it down. I think it's a false. I'm kind of with, my man Joseph Vega over here. Hey, listen, I really do think, I honestly don't believe that Steven Nelson is going to be that number 2 outside corner. I look at him more as less like a slot type corner situation also. Again, I see more of a chance for us because Howie's not going to just budge and overpay and oversign somebody. I see him trying to finesse a team, Howie Roseman is familiar with the Miami Dolphins GM, making trades. We did that in the draft. They have a pretty strong fan base. So I see us trading for Xavien Howard way before I believe we're going to sign Steven Nelson. Again, that just more looks Howie Roseman-like to me. But, again, I'm not going to be shocked because, it is what it is. We need some help at cornerback. So Steven Nelson, if he lowers his price, yes, we could pick him up. But I don't see that happening. I see us going the trade route, getting the cornerback from there. So I'm going to put that as a false. I'm not thinking no Steven Nelson's coming to Philadelphia, fellas.
Uncensored, I'll do you one better, since Notion brought up that he would think Nelson as slot over outside. And, to that point, we did see Travis Fulgham make a meal out of Steven Nelson in that Pittsburgh game. So, but when you think of slot, who else do we bring in as a rental in 17? Patrick Robinson. So, you can see that more than Ronald Darby.
Yeah.
But this is the risk. This is the risk that you're going to take with Xavien Howard Notion. If you're willing to wait, and you feel that Xavien Howard is not going to mimic the season that he did last year, but there's a very good chance that he does because of the talent he possesses, and that Dolphins football team is looking to improve offensively. They're getting weapons for Tua. Tua is the big outlier on how well they perform. He's already got what's his name from Bama that they drafted?
Waddle.
Jalen Waddle. They brought in him. Mike Gesicki's a pretty good tight end. They have a decent run game with Myles Gaskin. Tua is the biggest outlier of that offense. Defensively, they're pretty good. So that's the biggest risk that you're willing to take is, you have to be careful with how long you wait. For how expensive we feel Xavien Howard is right now, you have to imagine that later down the road, that price is going to go up if you wait X amount of games, and he still replicates a little bit of what he did last year.
No.
Hey,
But if you're going to make that move for Xavien Howard eventually down the road, why not just do it right away?
It would have to be right now. Yes.
And
if
we offer him like Ertz in the first round and they go ahead and pay his salary for this year, and then we get him and then go ahead and pick Nelson up then to be our slot corner. Now you got a full lockdown situation and you're under the cap for this year. Who cares about next year? We let Howie worry about that when he got some money to deal with it. For this year, though, we'll be in the clear.
Hey,
if you're giving up a first, with the Ertz exchange for Xavien Howard, that first is not only purchasing Xavien Howard, which a first might not even be enough if Ertz is in the deal, because that first is going to be attached to the contract that you're asking the Dolphins to take upon, that you don't want that 8.5 anymore. So does it end up being more capital at that point? That's something else you have to consider.
And that's another thing with Miami, too. Hey, listen, they got to make a decision. I know you mentioned their tight end. What is it, Mike Gesicki? I believe he's only got I believe Zach Ertz is better, you ask me. But at the same time, I believe hey, listen, I believe he's on his last year of his deal there in Miami. So Miami, they got to make a decision what they're going to do with him. So, hey, it's not like it's off the table. We got to see how it works. But, again, I don't think a lot of these moves are going to happen until we're at least at least see what we got first. Let's get into training camp, see how the season or the preseason works out. We got to at least evaluate the team before we just start bringing in, just whoever. So
I just hate to say it, bro. I just truly feel if you're going to pull off this Xavien Howard trade, you're going to have to let Cox go. I'm sorry, dude, but I don't think they're going to let Xavien Howard go for Barnett. Barnett hasn't proven shit. They're in playoff contention right now. Fletcher Cox would solidify their interior line. They are going for a playoff push. I don't think they would accept anyone but Cox at this point. And like I said, I just don't want to do that. But I think that's who you're going to have to give up to get him.
And then they pick up that DT in the draft from Miami that's got baggage attached to him.
Yeah.
So you bring in Fletcher Cox alongside him. Looking pretty scary there if the talent turns out to be what it is. Yeah.
But even both ways, with those 3 receivers they got on that side, man, Zach eating all day. Waddle, Parker, Fuller. That's a lot of speed out there. Zach probably loved being out there. He actually would probably want to go there if that was part of a deal too.
If Tua is that guy.
Yeah.
Fellas, listen, we at that time of the mark. And hey, listen, again, y'all make sure y'all check out every last one of these creators on here because they putting in that work and they kicking that straight Eagle flavor. So I put the description links in the links below. Hey, let them know where to find your channels at, my guy. Hey, because y'all already know the season is a week away and we about to come out turning this thing up. There's a lot of excitement that's going to be happening this season. My fellas here, make sure they turn the content all the way up on them. Let them know where to find y'all at, my guy. Eagles since it started off, bro.
Yeah, once again, man, I appreciate you for having me on here. It's a pleasure and an honor being on your show, dude. You're almost at 1,000, right?
Hey,
you're almost there,
brother. We on the journey. Yes,
get
sir.
my guy to a 1,000 here. Philly Notion, he brings the energy for us, man. He drops amazing content. Great guy to work with. So everyone, please, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to him. Great human being and very football smart. But yeah, I am AK Eagles. You can find me on Twitter at AK Eagles88. I also have an Instagram under Eagles Uncensored. But yeah, man, I got a lot going on right now. I got Saturdays at 4 p.m. Me and my guy Philly Foothills, we have a podcast together. It's called The East Meets West. That's where we bring the East Coast birds, West Coast birds, and everyone in the middle together. We talk about kind of game day rituals. Right now we're doing the top 32. Our first one we did coaches, and our second one we did the owners. So, we're just kind of going down through the list here. And then I have one here with my guy Birdgang 31. We're going to be starting up here very shortly on Sundays. So excited to get that going. And then I got one with a Giant fan on Wednesdays now. So I'm all over, man. And, I drop content on my channel. So please go check me out, like and subscribe. I appreciate it. And I'm almost at 200 subs. Been only doing this a month and I already had 130. So appreciate everyone for the love and support. And definitely don't miss my Sub Mondays either. That's where I give back to the community, and anyone who has a goal to reach 100 or 200 or whatever, they can come on my channel and we try and tweet your links out and, get you closer to your goals. So thank you for having me on, man. Appreciate you.
Man, you got the keys anytime, brother. Appreciate you coming through. Hey, Birdgang, let them know to find you at, bro.
Hey, man, you can find me here on YouTube, Birdgang Nation Sports Talk. You know what I'm saying? You can find me on Twitter, Birdgang31_P. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I love you having me on here today, man. I've been trying to work with you for a while. I need to get you over to my channel, my guy.
Yes, sir.
Do some work, but I collab with a lot of great content. If you want to see some good interviews, you know what I'm saying? It's more like a talk show on my channel. You know what I'm saying? I try to get some of the best contenders out there that be on the show to spread, their knowledge and also spread their memories with about their Eagle experiences in their life. So, it's great content. I made some 5 videos. And check me out, sub me up. I am also only been doing this for like a little bit over. I'm at 150, 160. It said So you know how YouTube be messing with that though. But yeah, I got a giveaway. When I hit 200, I'll be giving out do 2 drawings for 2 different Dallas Goedert auto rookie cards. One's out of 20, so there's only 20 of them in the world made, and the other one's out of 25. So you know, you guys get in the raffle, man. I'm getting that raffle. You know, sub me up and enjoy the content, man. I'm gonna keep going with it.
Indeed. Hey, look like Eagles Uncensored hopped off real quick. Have you pop back in? We know we about to close it out real quick. I know you gonna go too, Lindy. Just want to go and shout out my guy. Hey, it's all good, Stephen Joyce. Hey, family first and foremost, brother. So y'all make sure y'all check my man out too. His links is in the descriptions below. Another Eagle content creator. Some things came up. He wasn't able to join today, but hey, handle business first, my guy. So it's all good. So hey, Lindy, let him know where to find you at, my guy. Hey, bring us to the end zone because you ain't never shaking that, brother. Let's go and get it.
Oh man, I'll tell you what, Notion, it's been a journey, man. You know, you've been one of those guys that helped me boost some confidence in content creating, allowed me on some of your call-in streams, and you know, for what's worth, I got better at it. But no, man, you know, 8 months in, we're closing in on 200 subs. We're taking this 100 at a time, on the way to 1,000. But you know, milestones aside, the most important thing is that you gotta love what you do, and you know, that's how it works over here. You know, an Eagles fan with a diverse fandom, man. I love my Dallas Mavs. You already know the deal. Some people claim I'm a double agent, but that's not true whatsoever. My boy Luka needs a title, man. I'm trying to support my guy, but no. So I mean, I'm busy with content over here. I got to cover 2 sports teams that I love to talk about. So if you like that kind of diversity of fandom, love to have you a part of the End Zone fam. And it's easy to do. Hit that subscribe button, man. Come on this journey with me. But as always, Notion, it's always a trip, man, with you. And thanks again for this opportunity.
Man, fellas, again, it has been my absolute pleasure. Y'all already know we got the best Eagle content creators out there. The Eagles is taking this thing over. Y'all already know what it is. But hey, listen, gang, we appreciate all y'all for joining. Y'all know ain't none of this possible without none of y'all's help and none of y'all's push. So we appreciate all the love. So again, if y'all new to this channel or my fellas channel, y'all know what to do. Go hit that subscribe because the season's about to kick off and we ready, gang. So hey, gang, y'all make sure y'all have yourselves a safe and fantastic rest of the Eagles day. I'm about to go try to catch a little bit of this NBA finals that look like is on right now, so y'all know what it is. But hey, until next time, y'all know what it is. Go keep the notion.